How do I begin to invite you on this journey? Is it by telling you about how we've been unwittingly cast into the mold of ancient spells from which we get our modern spelling? Cast just like a mold, or perhaps like a net, while caught like fish in the net of spells and spelling which have been cast, thus sentencing us to life sentences and the curses of this cursive, which are just terms, like serving a prison term. So we've been sentenced to the wards of these words, which can be deadly as swords if misunderstood. Or perhaps you missed the understanding of my terms, or possibly the sibyls of my syllables, or even the ancient rites of modern writing. We languish in our languid language in anguish ever since the ancient times of the English Angus and the phony phonetic phonics of the ancient Phoenician Phonics. How is it that we've been cast into this mold of spelling? Could it be, possibly, a form of government? From the Latin root govern, to control, and ment or mentalis, meaning mind, to control the mind, as government. English as a tool of phonic phonetics by the phony Phoenician Phonics reflects the creativity and cunning genius of the human race, which of course is not a race at all unless you're just another rat caught in this daily maze of this rat race, of this human race, against one another. We draw money from our banks, which are the edges of a river, which flows in currents to the sea, which is why it's called currency, because cash flows, like pyroclastic ash flows, to the sea, which is why we can trace back our roots of modern trade to the ancient Phoenician trade roots, and why our mundane weekdays seem to keep us in a perpetually weak days, until we are so weakened that we barely make it to the weekend. So each day we routinely awake in the morning, which is a Monday morning ritual, conversely conversing a morning at awake for the dead. And thus the Bible speaks that the dead shall walk the earth. So it appears that they already are, without even knowing it, just by the strange language of which they know not the true origins and what their words mean in etymology, and thus the significance and the signs of the sins in signification of their signatures on these dead legal fictions, such as IDs, mortgages, or mortgages, meaning death pledge, bills, etc. Because our citizenship begins when we board the citizen ship, which sails the high seas carrying the seamen, and it all begins when the male ship docks in the female slot or slip, also known as its berth, and unloads the cargo or the seamen which sail up the waters of the canal. So she then gets pregnant and now carries the precious cargo and will give birth to the new citizen, which must now register to board that citizen ship and repeat the cycle all over again until the citizens catch on to the ancient spells of phony phonetic Phoenicians, tools of commerce and piracy of the high seas, and the human commodity through the use of their made-up languid language, which gives us our modern English. It's my honor to extend to you an invitation into Etymology Esoterica Grammatica, or the study of root meanings of esoteric spelling. Check out the links in the video below. I've included more links and more information about this topic. Please look into this topic further if it sounds interesting to you and you are starting to actually see the connections between how all languages have the same roots back in ancient tradition. See the connections between these words that we would deem as homophones, which they're homophones, which come from the phony Phoenician phonetics of phonics.
and how words sound, because that's the magic in it. That's where the magic comes in. Because if you don't see the connections and you're lost in the scholarly dictionary rather than the esoteric dictionaries that hide the true meanings in the way it sounds, so that you'll pass it off as just coincidence, and you won't look deeper into where these words come from and what they actually mean. Like how Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, or the Aleph-Bet, became the Greek alphabet and then became the modern English alphabet. So that is where this modern English language comes from, which is used to control commerce over the seas, and thus the banking system, and thus keep us in ignorance of how it's all connected. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you watching this video. Please feel free to share it. Please share this information and the links below. Please research further into this topic. I will include you more resources if you need those to get started into how this language, word spells and spelling, has been going on, and how it's abracadabra. I create what I speak. And I'll close with a quote from Philip K. Dick. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use the words. And this has also been going on for thousands of years in slavery. How if a slave master can control and corrupt the slave's language, their true language, that they will no longer understand the terms that the master is using, so that they could actually be free. And so this is how the master uses control to keep the population subservient to the master. And this has been going on for thousands of years, and still is, through our modern language and through our court system and through commerce. Because the English language is also known as legalese. It's the language spoken in all major modern court systems, because it's used for control, because people don't know how the language is used and what it means. And I've included some more links for you to understand how it's been happening and how it continues to this day without our understanding. For example, like the word Christ. It's a common misunderstood term because no one understands the etymology of where it comes from, which the word Christ comes from the etymological roots of ancient Greek, Christos, which is oil, and chrism, which is milk, cream, or oil. It's the sacred fluid. It's the secretion of the consecration when we get anointed with the sacred fluid. And this is why you must get down on your knees to be anointed with the sacred secretion of the consecration of the sacred fluid, which is the sacred cream or milk or chrism, Christos, which is why today we have our Crisco oil, because the Christ is the chrism, it's the oil of the cerebrospinal system, the cerebrospinal fluid, which contains an oil-like substance. And so that's what the Christ is. The Christ is the chrism within. It's the oil. It's everything but what we've been told that it is, what our common concept of what these definitions mean. So, with that, thank you for your time. Please check out the links I've included below, research this further, and share this information, share this video, share the links, share everything that I've shared with you. Continue to pass this information on so that people can awaken to what etymology means and where things come from and how they're being used.